Hey, good morning. I'm the Worth Playboy.
And I'm my Playboys Bunny.
And this is the Morning Hustle. Welcome, guys. We're going to get this party started. As you know, these mornings, we start with the hustle we have somewhat of a structure where we do a maxim and then we do like what's been going on.
Yeah.
A little bit more top of mind on Twitter and on the internet and on relationships. Let me pull that maxim up.
It's right here. Bang first, befriend later.
That's Royce's method or version of sex first, relationship later, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
And that's always in parentheses afterwards. And it's just the way you should approach girls and anything, because I get guys and they're like, you know, we've gone out 2 or 3 times and I'm not sure where I want to go. And I'll be like, well, have you guys had sex? And he'll be like, no, we haven't. I go, you're not going to go any further. That's the next step.
Right.
You know, once the sex starts, then it starts evolving over time.
Yeah.
And I do convey to guys, let girls take care of all the relationship stuff.
It's what we like.
Don't bring up girlfriend. Don't bring up, just completely stay out of it. When she wants to know, if she wants to know, she'll bring it up.
It's true.
And usually you have like a 12-week window. And I think it's just a natural progression. Now, I heard about this. I was in my 40s and somebody said, yeah, you have about 3 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, I started looking back. I was like, that's exactly, you get what they call a 90-day free trial. You know? Because,
good.
And we always say, because a lot of guys will be like, well, we went out, you know, she kind of disappeared on me. We went out for 3-4 weeks. And I'm like, well, you know, how long did you guys go out before you started having sex? And he's like, oh, we didn't. And I'm like, well, there's the problem.
Right.
You know, you want to get to sex as fast as possible, as fast as y'all are both comfortable getting there. But that's, once you meet up, that's the process.
Yeah.
And then you let things evolve naturally from that point on. But your job is to make it happen.
Well, that's like this morning I was thinking about, you know, that all communication with a girl before you have sex is all really just to move closer to having sex. All forms of communication with any girl, it's to have sex.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
That's physical communication, that's verbal, that's written, all of it. Once you have sex, the only communication that you're having is either to grow the relationship, to maintain the relationship, or to end the relationship.
Exactly.
Period. It's all about, it all revolves around sex.
Even your dating, your dating is a meetup that should be fun but leads to sex. That's the difference between meeting up with your sister and meeting up for a date.
Right.
You know, one has the potential to lead to sex. The other one has nothing to do with it. And that's what dating is, or, you know, meetups in our terminology.
Yeah.
But that's the difference. And guys they just complicate things and they don't follow a script.
It's true.
Or a structure, and then they get lost. And the girls want you to lead to something. So if you actually have a system and a method of like, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and you're moving her, she can kind of sense that and they'll go along with it.
It's true. It's true.
Sex first, relationship later, maybe. Yeah, if she deserves it, if that's what you want.
So with that in mind, what are some great responses to the question, like when she asks, what are we? You know, at that like 12-week mark, which inevitably happens.
The question is, what do you want it? I mean, guys ask me, you know, this is a very common question.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, and my answer is, what do you want it to be?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Now, when you're running a rotation, I'll convey this. When you are the type of guy that is a player, a playboy, kind of a cat or a scoundrel. Your early frame announcement is, this is who I am.
Right.
And generally, you don't get that question.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I mean, that's if you end up getting that question, but who you are is a casual sex guy.
Yeah.
Then you've screwed up somewhere way back earlier. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's how you carry yourself into the first few meetups, and how if you're seeing her once a week, usually you won't get the question.
Sure. Sure.
But if you screw it up and start treating her like a serious girlfriend moving towards monogamy, well, yeah, she's going to ask it.
Or if she genuinely thinks that you're being monogamous while you're dating.
Again, that's miscommunication.
Yeah.
And make no mistake, you present yourself as a player, or this is who you are. They'll decide whether they want to get on board or not.
Right.
That may just be what they're looking for right then.
Yeah.
So you don't know until you put it out there. But putting yourself out there when you're a player, when you have no intention whatsoever of becoming somebody's boyfriend ever, but you put it out there that you're going to be monogamous eventually, then it's dishonest. Because these guys are always like, well, do I just cheat? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, that's horrible. I mean, it's not necessary. You can have a rotation of girls, and they have an idea that there's other girls, but you don't throw it in their face.
What about when she says, well, why me? Why did you?
We haven't figured that one out. Because I literally never got that question. Never. But I've had a few guys asking me that.
Yeah. Well, and guys, and feel free. We'd love for you to jump in on the comments and let us know when you get the question. Well, why do you? Because I say even if you're genuinely like monogamous in a serious relationship, married, whatever, then it should be a playful response.
Well, let me convey this because I'm a little bit slow this morning. So the correct answer, and normally the why me is like, why did you want to go out with me? It's not like, why did we get married and have 4 kids?
No. It's like, it's usually genuinely, and I'm sure I've asked you this question, what was it about me that turned you on? What was it about me that you wanted me to stick around a little bit more? That kind of stuff. Mystery
Method said, stay somewhat neutral.
Yeah.
No compliments, and I'm going to convey this is what I would recommend. No compliments, no hard facts, because it will be used against you in the future. You just say, I don't know, there's just something about you.
Yeah.
And you change the subject to something more interesting.
Yeah. We had fun.
Yeah. I thought you might be fun.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Give her something open-ended that she can keep qualifying herself and moving forward.
The jury's still out.
Yeah, you don't want to say anything that can be used against you later. Which is, they don't mean to, but it does always get pulled up.
Yeah.
In the future.
Stuff unfortunately tends to backfire when things go wrong.
And you might say something that isn't her. She'll be like, oh, I was looking for a boyfriend. I thought you might make a good girlfriend. They're like, and all of a sudden they're like, I don't know about that. Does that make sense? So you need to leave it nice and neutral.
Yeah.
If anything, leave them a little short. Like, I don't know. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm still out.
Exactly. Is there a field guide for compliments? I've noticed Troy Francis uses them in his openers sometimes. Troy Francis does use a lot more, I would say, complimentary kind of ways of opening girls than generally is used in the States.
Let's convey this. If you're a beginner and you've not cold approached thousands of women like
Troy has. Yeah.
If you're just getting your feet under you, no compliments.
Yeah.
Advanced.
It's true.
Can make an audible call. Does that make sense? I mean, even like Royce would say, the hard 8s, the 9s, no compliments. Whereas like a 6 would have to have some softening. So you have to kind of like call it on your feet. Just remember, Troy Francis has been doing this full time for a long, long, long time. on the streets of London and all over Europe.
Yeah.
So it's not fair to compare yourself, because it may come flat.
I mean, he's a great example of how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
However, keep in mind, number one, he's European. Number two, he's in London, which is the most walkable, great for pickup city on the planet. Cold approach. If you want to learn cold approach, that's a good place to do it without getting shot like you would in Texas.
And even notice most of the girls he's talking to, not by intention, but are foreign.
Yeah.
And American girls are hard. They're they don't want to talk to you. Make no mistake, I don't tell anybody not to do something.
Right.
But
and we have a lot of clients who actually do pick up like that.
In Austin.
Dead game and things of that nature.
But compliments, unless you've been doing this a long time, just don't.
Yeah.
Until you get better at it.
Listen, girls are used to being flattered all of the time. I don't care who the girl is. I don't care how attractive or unattractive she is. Very few girls, females across the board and across the ages are invisible. So they're seen by someone and they're being complimented constantly. It's just white noise to them if you go in with compliments and you aren't Troy Francis in London.
Convey
in a lot of ways.
Women move through the world. What is their biggest concern with strange men when they're stopped?
Danger.
Is it danger? And then what's the second thing? We talked about this in the car yesterday.
Okay, well,
they're going to waste your time.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's like in the gym. That's why girls hate to be stopped. They don't know if you're going to waste 30 minutes of their training time.
It's true.
Yeah. That was one thing that Bunny conveyed to me. She said, and it's been in a couple of our podcasts.
Yeah.
And you may have missed it, is when you stop a girl, she wants to know how much goddamn time is this guy going to waste.
It's true. Yeah, because, consider this. You guys, maybe get approached, let's say once a day by a girl. It's a 3-minute conversation. Women get stopped. For every one time that you get stopped, women are getting stopped 10 to 20 times a day. Easily. And these conversations are never just 3 minutes because they're male-led. And male-led conversations are never quick because those guys are trying to keep you in the conversation and keep you in front of them. And that's true even if you're in a relationship, even if they know you're in a relationship, it does not matter because they have your female attention right then and they're not letting you go. So when girls initiate conversation with men, it is often a pretty quick conversation because we only have so many things that we think off the cuff about saying to you. And then we're like, okay, bye. See you later.
It's like Bunny, she's gotten here and said, okay, I'm coming up. And 10 minutes later, she walks in the door. I'm like, where the hell were you? She said, well, the supermarket guy stopped me in the hall. And girls are polite. But he wants to talk.
It's true.
It might be the only girl.
It might be the only girl that he sees all day.
Exactly.
It doesn't work for him. But
exactly.
So just keep that in mind. It's about danger. We don't know what your intentions are.
Yeah.
And it's about time wasting because girls will waste their own time right and left. They'll waste your time right and left, but they don't want you wasting their time.
No. That's it.
Yeah. I think for not having an answer to that question, I'd say that was pretty fucking good. Okay. Next on the agenda, I wanted to bring up a question that I meant to make that go away. A question that you received on just the DMs. And I'm not going to bring it up. I'm just going to read it real quick. So you had posted about girls are going to flake, girls are going to ghost. He says, I'm 33 and went on a happy hour date with a cute 24-year-old last week. Setting up the date, she was a bit slow, uninterested, but we met. Seemed to have a good time with banter, flirting, made out at the end of the night. He says, I'll be at drunk. Following day, she sort of agreed to a second date when I suggested it. So I tell her when I'm free again and when we should meet again, and she goes. She just completely disappears. Trying to figure out what I did wrong, but I just don't know.
Let's go right back to the very beginning.
Yeah.
Girls are going to flake. Girls are going to ghost.
Right.
And it has absolutely nothing
Oftentimes.
whatsoever to do with maybe 1% of the time. Honestly, it's usually about 1% of the time that you like blew your nose into a napkin. And believe me, it's something or you have a great day and she had a bad experience with a great day.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
What the reason, and these are true reasons.
Yeah.
It's not your game. It's not that you don't make enough money. It's not the car you drive. It's not that you don't have six-pack abs. It has nothing to do whatsoever with any of that.
It's true.
What it normally means is her boyfriend got out of jail. She's got an STD flare-up. Her husband is back in town. An ex-boyfriend shows up. And there's no momentum. So he's showing up that night.
Yeah.
That you want to go out. And she's like, girls will fall back to an ex faster than they'll invest in a new guy.
Right.
Because they know it, you know. And it also, you know, a couple people have said that it doesn't raise their total body number. I don't know how true that is. I've never
That's
really heard
no,
that.
no, no. That's 1,000% accurate.
Well,
Absolutely.
now we confirmed it. But it has nothing whatsoever to do with you.
Yeah.
And quite often, if you just leave them alone, maybe ping their phone in a month or two. It's all about timing.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with anything. And they're afraid. They'll go, hey. And you'll be like, hey, let's meet up. Okay.
Right. Hey, woman.
And then don't ask, where'd you go? Let them tell
No.
you. 99% of the time, they'll go, hey, you know, I kind of like disappeared on you. The reason is, you know, I had my ex-boyfriend came back into town.
Yeah.
And he got a job here, and I wanted to see if it worked. Or usually my baby's father.
Yeah.
You know, my kid's dad.
Exactly.
You know, so somebody that they have more investment in, but 99% of the time, it has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with you.
Well, and quite honestly, from the female perspective, it could be that, you know, she started her period the next day. You know, she felt like ass, and then she kind of lost interest because there wasn't the investment. You
Exactly.
know, she made out with you in a drunken frenzy, but it didn't go any further. But she's like, that means without fail, the next time we'll get drunk and we'll definitely fuck. So she knows
She knows the order
herself
of things, yeah.
that, and she's like, you know, I don't want to add to my number, you know, and so literally she's talking herself out of another notch count. Sometimes.
And again, she's 24.
Yeah.
25 and under are going to flake all the time.
Yeah.
But make no mistake, girls flake at every age.
For no reason.
But when you go younger than 25, they flake even more than they flake as semi-adult women.
It's true.
You know? So
it's true.
That's a trade-off. Guys go, you know, this 21-year-old didn't respond. I'm like, she's 21.
Her brain is not even fully formed.
Don't
honestly.
Make no mistake. These girls flake on their girlfriends.
Yeah. Oh,
They
yeah.
flake on their family.
It's not just men that they flake on.
They
It's not
flake
just
on their
new
own
men.
family.
They flake on people that they're dating or their best friend. They flake on everybody.
Their job.
It's not just you.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Not just you at all.
That's good. So you don't worry about it. And here's the thing. If you're focused, and it's okay to do after action reports. You know, what did I possibly do? You know, you look back. But there's usually nothing. There's nothing there. And it might have been something completely innocuous, you know.
Yeah.
You backed in, and her ex-boyfriend used to back into every spot, and it drives her nuts. I mean, it's
true.
Because some of these girls will jump in there like, what gave you the ick?
Or you don't back into the parking place, but her father always said, you know, guys who don't back in
are latent homosexuals.
Yeah,
I mean that's
literally.
It's truly insane.
It could be anything.
Yeah, and there's a couple. Usually, a girl puts it out there. You know, what did a guy do to give you the ick? So you have to keep in mind, girls will like break up with a long-term boyfriend over stupid shit.
Yeah.
She will definitely not return your call over stupid shit.
It's true.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with nothing you could ever have stopped yourself from doing or be concerned with.
Right.
You know?
Right. It's true. Good. I don't know if she likes me or is just being nice.
You got to
What?
ask her out.
Yeah.
Asking a girl out, two things will solve 99% of men's girl problems.
Right.
Meet up with more girls. Talk to more girls. If you don't go online, you're never going to probably have enough in rotation.
That's true.
Unless you're a DJ, own a club, own a restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in a high contact environment, then you probably aren't here anyway.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But if you struggle to have enough girls in your life, you got to get good at online, social, walking to the gym, everywhere. And you become better by practice. But I've noticed that online, more people are fucking today from meeting online than all the other methods of meeting combined.
Yeah.
Yet guys will still go, because they use pictures from like 1999.
Yeah.
And or they took a picture with their phone of a Polaroid, you know, and it's just
it's true.
Truly insane. The girls aren't rejecting you, they're rejecting your pictures, which I think is a key point.
Yeah.
But get online. You need to be in front of more women. Yeah. Then that one girl that didn't text back, you forgot. Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to like start putting their name and their face in your phone because you have 3 Sarahs.
Yeah.
You know, and it
It's a good
happens
problem to
relatively
have.
quick.
Yeah.
And the number 2 thing is you have to ask her out. Like Bunny was saying, these guys stop girls and they're talking. Well, if he's talking to her for 10 minutes, he's trying to get up the balls or looking for an indication he should ask her out. And she doesn't ever give one because she's like, yeah, she's just moving through the world. So to answer any question, does she like me? Does she have a boyfriend? What other questions do you guys put forth? You know, is she interested? I mean,
yeah.
is she moving towns? Does she have a job? Anything you want answered can be simply answered by asking her out.
Right. Right.
She says yes, you go to the next step. Great, I'll see you Friday night, you know.
Yeah.
And if she says no, now you know.
Yeah.
You know, and you'll get three answers when you ask the girl out. Yes, which is great. Just keep moving forward with your plan. No, and no alternative.
Right.
That means dead in the water, move on, and just the best thing you can do is just move to the next girl.
Sure.
And 3 is no, but I can go Wednesday.
Right.
No, but I'll be available next week. You know, they'll give you an alternative.
I can't Saturday, but I could Tuesday.
Yeah.
Are you available Tuesday?
Trust me. There's no equivocation. I mean, you get 1 of 3. 2 are pretty good.
Yeah.
1 is no, and that's fine too. Because you can go, she's out.
Yeah.
Then go the next, hell, you can go out with her sister. You know, I mean, I'm serious, or her best friend. There's nothing wrong with that. And the best thing to do when somebody says no, you just act like you never asked them out in the first place.
Yeah, I mean that's what's good is there's no investment at that level. If you just say it, then there's no investment. So
and tell them what girls, when a guy takes the rejection, he goes, okay, and then moves on.
She inevitably thinks back on it. She's like, she rethinks her strategy. She's like, maybe I misread that guy, because we are so used to guys taking it so badly. So badly, even if you think you're being chill. That's probably the worst thing you can do is you think you're being chill, but you're also like, oh, okay, fuck it then. Or okay, I didn't know you were going to be a bitch about it. I mean, literally, I've never had this happen to me, but it's prevalent. It's prevalent. You know, they're like, they just kind of get pissy, get all butthurt.
They can't help it.
They cannot help it. And if you just go, okay, you know, literally she will be thinking about you for 24 hours or more going, maybe if I see him again, I'll say, hey, I actually, you know, do you still want to go to that art show? You know?
Yeah. Again, you don't know what's going on in the background with girls. She might be saying no because, again, just like Flaky, she's got a boyfriend coming back in town. She's got, she's got stuff going on.
Well, she might be saying no because it's her autopilot when anybody who she isn't already interested in, asks her out.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I can't, because we deal with it so much. It's genuinely like an auto response.
Yeah. Because in her mind, she can always come back around. And that's
and we can. And we can. I mean, that's the real deal. Girls we know that we can circle back easily and get that ask, and then it's all good.
Cool.
Yeah.
2 things.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I have a note, so I have to. Oh, this is a good one. So we've been asked this a lot, but we got it in the DMs this week. A request to talk about this. Girls who are in relationships going on girls' trips with single girlfriends are more likely to cheat, or at least think about it the entire trip.
Sure.
It was all about, that was actually like more my notes than anything, but it was, the questions are always about, because we are pretty adamantly against girls' night outs, girls' trips, things of that nature. They just are kind of asking for future trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the initial isn't, bad.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea. I don't know how to put it any differently,
Well, I mean, I guess the best thing is to understand what happens on these girls' nights. So girls get together under the guise, and we'll say a girls' night out, but this applies to trips as well. Girls get under the pretense of wanting to talk about their men, wanting to talk about their kids, wanting to have a few drinks and catch up, talk about their dogs, talk about their babies, talk about their house remodel. But what happens is you get all that conversation out of the way in about the first 15, 20 minutes, and the drinks are going. By 15, 20 minutes in, most of these girls have already had 2 drinks because the first 2 go down real fast. And then you start getting a little bit loud, start to get a little bit boisterous, you start to feel cute. You already feel cute because you don't go out on girls' nights looking like shit. But you think it's just because you finally have an opportunity to wear that little dress that you just bought. But really, as the drinks start going, it definitely turns into more like, I'm getting attention for my behavior because I'm cute, because, whatever it is. I'm here with my girls, but there are no men around, so it looks like you're free game. So men do catch your eye, or they do come over to your table, or if it's more like a bar situation where it's more standing room and milling around, guys definitely without question approach, just girl groups. So even if your relationship is incredibly secure, 1 or 2 nights out every once in a while is one thing. But if those 1 or 2 nights out turn into, we're going to just do this every week. We're going to, every Wednesday, you guys have your poker night that night. So the girls and I are going to go blah, blah, blah. That's where you're just asking for trouble. And it's the most secure relationships ever get destroyed by this kind of behavior because it becomes a habit, and then it's just all about the attention.
Yep. She nailed it. It's a bad idea, and it puts forth a bad precedent.
It happens to girls who aren't seeking anything.
Exactly.
I want to be real clear on this. Like, it's not that they even have an inkling of what's going to happen. But like I say, girls get together. We talk about our husbands, our boyfriends, our kids, and our pets, our houses, if something exciting is going on with that.
If you see a minefield and it's posted, it's a minefield, you don't go walking through it.
Yeah.
And that's what you're asking to do.
It's true.
It's a minefield. Nothing good can come out of walking through the minefield.
Now, every once in a while, girls going out for drinks with the girls, here are the tips. Here are the tips. And here's what we live by, because every once in a while, like we've got female clients who want to go out, or
Yes.
he's like, I don't want to go, but
go.
why don't you go?
You gotta go.
You go do this business adventure. And that's truly what it is. But what happens is we will fuck before I go. And we're in pretty constant communication while I'm gone. I think these are the tips, is that wreck her look a little bit. And I used to say this more than I do now. It's a good idea. Whether you full on fuck to completion before she goes out, which is a really good idea if you can swing the time and the energy, because then she's fully satisfied. She's honest to God not thinking about anything but the fact that her pussy is still leaking your semen. I mean, that's all she's thinking about. She is satisfied. She is good. And it doesn't really matter how much other attention she's getting at that point. You're just like, why do you say this stuff out loud? But even if you can't do the whole shebang, go on and fuck around. Go ahead and, like I say, mess her hair up a little bit. Make her fix her lipstick. Whatever it takes, do a little something to kind of wreck her look. If she doesn't completely freak out on you and get mad, then you've got her. But it's a winning way to send her out into the world if she's going.
Because she's going to come back drunk.
And then it's a big
Then it's
win.
really on.
Yeah. You better be fresh. You better be fresh when she gets home. And I will say, make sure that it's not an all-night adventure. Make sure this has an end time. Kind of like a curfew in a way.
Yeah.
In a way. At least have an understanding that, okay, I'll see what you think you'll be home like 10. So that way it's an understanding that this is not going to be
open-ended.
A bar hopping adventure. You're not just going to drink all night and then stumble in and 3 a.m.
And
No.
plenty of
You're not closing bars down without me.
no, plenty of families have been destroyed, and lots have been upset simply by something completely innocent at the beginning that just got away from them.
Well, that's how my ex-husband's ex-wife, prior wife to me, that's what happened to their relationship.
Exactly.
It was an innocent girls' night on like Tuesday nights with her coworkers, but I mean, it happens with every echelon of woman I've ever met.
Yeah.
It is the real deal.
It's a cautionary tale.
It is. So just be aware of all of those things. Okay, I wanted to talk about, I was doing a little bit of research because so many of our I always feel like kind of our guys are, and maybe it's just because of our ages and stages of life, I feel like our guys are more often than not, and this may be a complete misconception, that our guys are more often than not, 40s, 50s, sometimes even 60s, have gone through a divorce or, at least a bad breakup. I mean, we consult with a lot of younger guys in their 20s and 30s, maybe even considering marriage, maybe wanting to run rotations and things of that nature. But, I feel like divorce is a really high priority item because there are so many people who are like, don't get married, don't get married, don't get married. But the fact of the matter is they're already married. They're already married, or they've already been married and getting a divorce, or whatever the case may be. So I was interested in looking at the most common questions or concerns that men have when going through a divorce. So I just kind of wanted to run my research answers by you and kind of get your take. Okay. So these are the 5 most frequently asked questions that I found in my research. How do I cope with the emotional pain of divorce? And I think this is a valid question as much because men, I think, feel like it's weak to feel pain from divorce, but it's it's a major break.
Yeah, I'd say if you're having, if it's interfering with your day-to-day life,
Yeah,
I'd probably seek out a therapist
yeah,
because you have to perform. I mean, you got businesses that are dependent on you, kids that are dependent on you. Speaking to someone that specializes in this
yeah,
and sees the questions that you'll have 20, 30 times a day,
yeah,
you know, and they've been doing this for 20 years,
yeah.
can help you through this.
Right.
Most guys, the only person they had to talk to is their divorce attorney at $700 an hour.
Right.
This is a true, I mean, it's true. The only person, they don't talk about it to their family, they don't talk about it to his parents, they don't talk about it to anyone, especially most men just don't talk.
True.
You know?
Yeah, it's true.
But if the inner turmoil is starting to affect in any way your outside performance, speaking with a therapist, and it's usually covered by insurance. You
True.
know?
Yeah.
And whatever you pay will come back twofold because you're not all fucked up.
Right.
You know, you can't.
You can
risk
function.
It.
Yeah.
You can't risk.
You
you
can
know,
continue to run your job,
a major
your
depressive
business.
episode. Yeah, I would say you got to talk to a professional.
Right.
You know, and walk through it.
Yeah.
You know, and they're
Yeah.
going to give you your best advice.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. The second thing that I found, what can I do to maintain a healthy relationship with my children after a divorce? I mean, this, and I'm not asking you to answer these necessarily.
Thanks.
To be clear, because he thinks that he's like, you know, not super dad.
No.
But that I think that you're just being modest.
Sorry, kids.
But
They know.
but these are just, I just kind of want to get your take on what your thoughts are about these being like some of the most predominant questions that we hear. I feel like men are really troubled by and concerned by how the relationship's going to evolve or deteriorate or even grow once you're divorced. And I've seen some guys really flourish as single dads in a way that maybe they wouldn't have if they were all in the house, because then he's working more and not prioritizing it as much and things of that nature.
The guys that I see maintain the relationship with the children best literally build up a second home that's identical to their current home.
Yes.
He can't get her out of there. He gets a house in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So they can, and goes for 50-50.
Yeah.
Because they have to prove today, at least, you know, depending on the state, that you can't do 50-50. 50-50 is where the negotiations start.
Yeah.
And that's where they normally end now. I mean, more guys are getting half time.
Yeah.
You know, they stay with the mom for a week, they stay with you for a week. And there's very rarely, unless there's a huge disparity in income, no child support.
Yeah.
You know, but the guys that I see do best physically stay right in the proximity with a home that is comparative to the one they have now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hell of a stretch, it's a hell of a hit financially.
Right.
But if you can present that and get 50-50, that seems to be the best. Because basically, and usually these guys end up with getting married like the week after the divorce is
It's
done.
finally finalized. It's
Yeah,
true.
I mean, they usually do. And these are very family-oriented guys. They don't want to lose one, but they're losing one. They got to replace it, and they're going to need some help.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are just very upfront. I can't juggle 4 kids and travel with my business. You know?
Right.
So they get married.
Yeah.
You know, but staying physically within like 5 minutes down the street, around the corner. Those are the guys that do best.
It's true.
You know, and they start from the very beginning. They don't, you know, they literally just go around the corner when they move out.
Yeah, because you can't circle back. You
No.
can't 5 years down. You go, oh, I really should have moved closer, and
Yeah,
then come
no.
back. The damage has usually been
Yeah.
done, unfortunately.
That's the guys that I see do best. Set up something that is absolutely a mirror image of the kid's current home.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good answer, and that does seem to be the winning thing. All right, the third question that we find is most predominant with guys going through divorce is them asking, how do I deal with the financial impact of divorce, including dividing assets and paying alimony or child support? And for sure, I mean, I feel like, if anything, I feel like the financial burden is usually paramount to all the others. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
I've been divorced 12 years, and I still have another 8.
Yeah.
8 years? No.
Of child support.
Yeah, 6 years of child support. Yeah, easily. And it's past $1 million paid out. And you don't think about it, but you're paying it monthly, consistently, over time.
Plus cars and insurance. And
oh,
phones,
yeah.
all the normal
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
But here's the question that I always have. And y'all don't shoot me for saying this. I'm just a girl. But how much would those children have cost if you'd have stayed in the home?
$2 million.
I mean, you know what I mean?
It's true. But you're also maintaining 2 households, at a certain, to a certain extent.
Right.
And my relationship with money is different than other people's relationship. I mean, that's one thing I've learned about guys is their relationship with money is very different depending on the individual.
That's absolutely true.
It's very unique. And I don't have enough background. I mean, because there are guys that literally just loathe the idea of signing that check and not knowing where she's spending it, and she's got a boyfriend living in the house. There's all this stuff, but it's going to be a financial hit. I've never heard of anyone that it didn't affect.
Right.
No matter how big your stack is,
it's true.
Your stack's going to be a little bit smaller when you're done.
That's a good point.
And you can forget. I mean, guys have, I'm going to put everything in the Bitcoin wallet, and I'm going to hide my assets. These courts and these judges and these attorneys and these investigators love that shit.
Yeah.
They do this all day, and they'll be more than happy to put you in jail until you hand over that code and show all your assets. They will get their money. Yeah. Guys have some bad ideas of what these judges do this all day for decades. And there's nothing you can throw at them they haven't seen.
Well, and investigators like the Dan Herron, who I had on my Bunny interviews several weeks ago, man, I mean, he has seen some shit. Yeah. He's been in the industry for 30 years and a private investigator with his own firm for 20 and a federal agent before that. I mean, they see
everything.
Especially now. We've all got such a digital footprint, it's ridiculous.
And they'll go back a decade and they'll do forensic accounting that you're paying for.
Yeah.
That you're paying for.
Yeah, good point.
You're paying for the forensic accountant who's looking for you committing fraud.
That's true.
What I will say, the guys that have done best financially.
Yeah.
Are we still on the financial question?
Yeah. We're at whatever question you want to be on.
Are those that took the initiative and filed first and played nice.
Yeah.
From the front end.
That's true.
And got what they wanted. And then after the divorce, they treated her like dog shit.
Yeah.
They were done. You know what I mean? For whatever reason.
They could turn it on.
Yeah.
Going through it.
Yeah. They could hide, hey, we're gonna have, joint holidays, we'll do this, we'll do that.
We're going to remain a family.
Yeah, they hide the new girlfriend. They hide everything they can. Just make it look like he's just going through that there might be a possibility they could get back together.
Yeah. We're just going our separate ways. We've just grown apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want you to have a chance. I want you to have a chance to blossom.
Yeah.
Without me dragging you down. All these things.
That's a good line.
And then they get easier negotiations and easier terms.
They do.
And usually they also file when the last kid leaves high school.
Yes.
You'll see that really consistently. If you make it into your 40s, you'll start seeing guys file as soon as the last child graduates high school. That summer.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And they've been setting it up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But the guys, when you're caught back on your heels and somebody files against you, you're like, I thought everything was fine.
Yeah.
Which is
we just had sex last night.
Yeah. That's 80% of them when they get the papers.
That's true. And some of them, a lot of them are because of girls' night out. So just in case you didn't catch
See how that works?
Yeah. What steps can I take to start rebuilding my life after divorce, including finding a new partner and establishing a new social network? And that's a biggie. I feel like the social network often disintegrates.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you even talk to like people that have been divorced for some time. They're like, I stopped receiving invites.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that, only couple. I mean, that's one of the reasons like older guys are just like sitting ducks.
Yes.
Because if his wife passes away or, he goes through a divorce, he just wants to do stuff like he was doing. Like he can't travel, he can't do anything by himself. And it's depressing.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys have had a wife for 30 or 40 years, you know. So they're one thing with the social rebuilding is Rollo has a article called Zeroed Out.
Yeah.
And for a lot of guys, when they go through a divorce and lose custody of their kids and lose all their money and they lose all their friends, they're zeroed out.
Yeah.
They might even lose their business. They have to start over. We've seen people lose their business. They had to divide it in the divorce and they sold it. So he's lost his identity in every sense. So he's zeroed out. He's got to start over. A lot of guys can't do that at 55 or 50 or 40. They just can't bear the idea of it. But all of this you can get through. It's just a step-by-step process over time.
Yeah.
And what you decide is important is what matters to you. I mean, like, I was having to shut down a location and rebuild financially. So my hands were full with that, and for other guys, it's like reestablishing a second home down the street from their current house. It just depends.
I just stuck that zeroed out article link in the chat box if anybody wants it later.
And there's probably some good advice below, in the comments.
Oh, I'm sure the comments are right, especially since it's like a decade old or better.
Oh yeah.
All right, last. How can I protect myself legally during the divorce process, including hiring a lawyer and understanding my rights and obligations? And I'd say hire a lawyer as quickly as humanly possible.
Again, ask around for referrals.
Yeah.
And shop a little bit because attorneys are independent contractors.
Yeah.
And you do want some, and this is the one thing I would convey is, whatever county you're in or whatever courthouse you'll be going, find the attorney that has the best relationship with that courthouse.
That's a good idea.
With that area.
Yeah.
That's because it's a good old boy network. Law is, they're friendly to each other. They know each other.
Yeah.
You don't want a guy from another county that's never been here.
No.
The judge doesn't know him. It's just like you going to work. Your people know you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if you've been in the military, you can see a guy that you served with 5 years ago and you're like, hey, because you have common interests and common experience. It's the same thing when it comes to law. Is guys that know each other are going to work better together.
It's true.
So you want to find an attorney that's extremely familiar with the courthouse that you're going to have to go to.
Yeah.
So.
Good answers. Right. So that was the 5 most frequently asked questions that men have when going through a divorce. We are getting some good questions in the chatter box too. Yeah. Okay. I gotta back up a little bit. So JD asked, this is a good one, and I think a lot of guys deal with this. How to deal with female coworkers wanting me to get married to some plain Jane. If you work in an office or around women or a school teacher, so you're working around women, whatever the case may be, it inevitably, every girl in there wants to fix you up with her very boring best friend or cousin or sister. It's the real deal.
It's true. You just have to be polite. You have to laugh. I guess usually, and for a lot of guys, I've had guys with feedback on this. They're like, who do they think I go out with?
Yeah. What do they think I do in my evenings?
Exactly. Or what caliber girl do they actually think that I deserve? They're kind of insulted.
That's fair.
And you just have to laugh. You go, my plate is full right now.
That's a great answer.
I would just say I'm juggling more girls than I can handle, and I appreciate it. But your friend probably deserves somebody that can focus on them.
That's a good answer.
That's what you. So
Look
you're busy.
You. And then they're additionally turned on because they're like, oh, oh, he's fucking a lot
Yeah,
of girls. I
there's nothing-
must fuck him.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, in the work environment, to a certain extent.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, everybody knows, and I think it's gotten crazier because we haven't been in the corporate world in over a decade.
Yeah,
So-
that's true. We would not be HR
This is not legal
friendly.
advice. But just say, you know, my plate is full. I've got something going on every night,
Yeah,
and I appreciate, but your friend deserves somebody that can focus in on that.
yeah, that's a good answer. I like that. So JD, I hope that helps. He says it's getting annoying because it's apparently
Oh yeah,
so persistent.
can you imagine?
Let's see. What do you think about a family member who has married a female friend who is pregnant with another man's child and is passing it off as her husband and continues to maintain a friendship with the woman? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so like let's say I have a friend who we know got pregnant by somebody else, but is staying married and passing it off as her, like as hers.
Husband.
How would you respond to that? How would you deal with that?
Man,
That's a tough one. Whoo, that is fire right there. What are you looking for?
I'm thinking.
He's
I
like
have to
messing
think.
with his phone. I'm like, are we looking
I have to
something
think.
up? What's happening right now?
There's only two routes. There's either you inform them anonymously, or you don't say anything and stay out of people's business. But you don't inject yourself personally.
Guys tend to want to stay out of other people's business in those kinds of regards.
But this is such a unique. This is the ultimate. You know, what would you say? Deception.
Yeah, that's
Which
rough.
is why you might need to inform him anonymously.
And I would cut off. I would make sure that your girl cuts off contact with
Yeah,
you.
this is not a good person.
It's this kind of girl should not. You can tell everything you need to know about a girl by her friends and by the people that she spends time with. If she even spends enough time with this girl for her to be secretly telling you this very deep, dark secret,
Yeah.
she is not a good influence on your girl and will infect your relationship.
The reason you want to anonymously
Oh,
tell the
yeah.
guy is because he may not believe it.
Oh, for sure
He may
not.
not
It'll
want to
blow
believe
back
it.
on you for sure.
There are guys that don't want to believe this stuff happens,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But that way you stay out of it. But you've done your duty of not letting another man be cuckolded or
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
be.
Well,
be
karma's a bitch. It'll come back on her eventually.
Yeah.
This just helps it happen a little bit faster
Yeah.
before anybody gets invested. Because what I see in these kinds of situations is it comes out so late that that man is so destroyed because he has a genuine relationship with this kid.
Oh yeah. So the sooner the better.
Yeah.
If you're going to anonymously, or you put it out of your head and you just carry that with you. That's
Woo.
completely up to you.
But as far as your household goal goes, 1000% put your feet
If you have to.
put your feet down. I don't know what I was
Put your
going to
foot
say.
down.
Put your foot down and end that relationship. They don't need to have any connection. Your girl does not need to have any connection with that girl.
No. And a smart woman would go, hey, you're not going to believe this.
Yeah,
And they go, I'm not going to hang out with him.
exactly.
There's just no way.
Exactly. Exactly. And it can be done in a non-dramatic way. You know, she can just kind of stop taking the calls, stop responding. Girls, attention is a girl's oxygen, and that goes for men and women alike. If we have a girlfriend who's ghosting or not reliably responding and not feeding into our drama, we go on. We move on.
And a girl that's having another man's child while
Yeah.
married to, she's got enough on her plate.
Yeah.
She's not going to be coming looking for somebody.
It's true. It's true. She's got plenty of people to vent about. And these girls tend to run their mouths so much that they actually cause their own demise
Yeah.
and, stuff. Let's see. Last night I had a Tinder girl ask for my number, then curse me out over text because I made a joke over who should send pics first. My gosh, girls are volatile.
It's just a red flag.
Yeah,
That's all you need to know. Just know she's damaged and just block her.
yeah. Wow.
That was easy.
What a nightmare, though. I'm sorry that you're dealing with that. That's so stupid. Girls' nights out, the shots go down faster. That is absolutely true. Absolutely. And I will add, they are usually free shots because we don't pay for our own shots. Let's see. What do you think about the women who identify as femcells? Are they just bluffing, or is there more to it? What's a femcell?
Maybe I have a feeling it's females that are not having sex.
Oh.
Can you tell us if we're right or wrong?
Females who are not having sex? Is that what a femcell
like an incel
is?
who's a girl?
We don't believe in females that aren't having
can
sex.
How would you say? Can you confirm or deny?
We believe in girls.
It's one of those words that I see and I gloss over it because I'm like, I'm not going down that okay.
Yeah, a femcell is a female incel.
All girls, if they're even the least bit attractive, are having sex with someone.
It's true. And some girls will take a little bit of a break. Number one, because they know they can't trust themselves to make good decisions in the state that they're in. Number two, because they've gotten so run over that they need to give their pussy a break. But oftentimes they're having sex with someone, even if it doesn't count sex.
Girls,
just because they're not officially dating does not mean they're not having sex.
Because men will fuck anything.
Exactly.
They will fuck anything and anyone and anybody. And no matter what you think of her, you're like, how? She's got 3 guys, and usually these girls
blowing
have
up her phone.
These girls are fucking someone, you know.
And they're usually pretty hot guys.
It's called a sex drive for a reason.
Yeah.
To make me never believe I was celibate for 2. The magic number,
2 years.
they've always slept with 3 men, and they've been celibate for 2 years. It's all bullshit. Any girl that says she's single, I was single, but I had a fuck buddy or 2. You know, I mean.
Or I was still fucking my ex-husband.
Exactly. The single, none of them are single. It's never happened. You know, just don't believe it. She's saying it to you. Just let it wash over you and just know she most likely, I mean, once you've been out and about and with a lot of girls, and this is how guys that have been with a lot of women know this stuff. I'm banging her at lunchtime. Hey, what are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm going out with so-and-so.
Yeah.
I'm going out with this new guy.
Yeah.
The chances that she actually fucked somebody the same day she met you the first day are usually pretty high.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she's just switching gears.
It's true.
It happens all the time.
Sounds hot.
It's crazy. So just know that a girl that she's got all of her appendages, you know, I mean, just funny. Everything.
Or not.
Or not. I mean, there's freaks out there, but all girls are having sex with someone at some point.
And we do not have to try to have sex. I think that's where, guys, there's a disconnect so much. We've done a podcast on this, which I feel like we need a drinking game for the times that we say we've talked about this or we've had a podcast on this. Yeah. But guys have to work the steps that lead up to having sex with a new girl, to introducing a new girl to their rotation, to just having sex with her. Girls literally just have to be available. We have to make sure that we're shaved or not. We have to make sure that we just got a shower or not. We literally don't have to do anything. It requires no work on our part for us to have sex.
They just show up. Yeah. That's it.
That's why it's so much fun for us.
That's why these couples that agree, okay, we're going to have an open relationship. And she's gone.
She's having sex that night.
Because it takes him.
And he's having to start.
If you know what you're doing. Yeah. It's going to be 2 weeks to get the whole ball rolling.
Sure.
You know.
That makes sense.
It's you know, you got to, if it's somebody that you already know, you got to get them over the, don't you have a girlfriend? Right. You know, I mean, or aren't you married?
What does your wife think about this?
Oh, we're doing it together. Okay. You know, it's just the weirdness.
Yeah.
But a girl, she gets on the phone. She's like, Bob and I have decided to have an open relationship. You want to meet at a hotel? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's
What are you doing tonight?
What are you doing tonight?
Drinks?
Can you come over? Yeah. That's it. I mean, it's nuts. That's why these guys always get their nuts kicked in when they go, let's have an open relationship. And she's like, she doesn't come home for 3 days.
Yeah, he's thinking, oh yes, I can finally fuck that girl, the secretary or whatever.
Yeah, and the secretary's got a boyfriend. She just never mentioned.
Yeah.
I mean, it's guys we run the whole show. Like we've talked about this. I have like a 10 or 15 steps in my,
your dating rotation.
Dating.
Or I'm sorry, your dating system.
Dating system, and it's not as complicated as it sounds. It's pretty simple.
It's not.
But there are 15 steps. There's steps you got to take to get them from stranger to in your bed. Which is not bad, and you want to do it within a few hours.
Yeah.
Well, girls, they're on the phone, just like Bunny said. Hey, you want to meet for drinks? And he takes care of the rest.
It's true.
And she's in a hotel room an hour later. I mean, that's
blissfully happy and usually drunk.
Yeah, and that's the difference. Is guys have to invest time and logistics and mental game and moving her from stranger to in your bed. The girls just show up.
Yeah, we do. Just show up and spread our legs. The rest goes.
And it's funny because we were talking about like where guys, let's say a guy has a history of like being with 5 girls.
Yeah.
And she's got a history of being with 5 men.
Yes.
He's like, Jesus, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, she just showed up.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this where like younger guys or guys with a little less experience kind of freak out when the girl has like 7 and he's been with 3. Well, all she doesn't even think about it.
No.
She doesn't remember them. Or they're like, it didn't count. It didn't take anything to be there.
No.
No,
it doesn't. For guys, that would require at least 21 weeks of work, and all told. But for her, it's like 21 minutes.
It's true. Way less investment.
Yeah. So, good show, baby.
Thanks for coming. We have any last questions? Is that it?
Brittany Venti claimed she was a femcel in high school. That's what got me thinking about it. And I don't know who Brittany Venti is.
In high school is different. We've met girls that really didn't start having sex till they were in college.
Late bloomers.
Yeah, that's a real. I don't know.
But I have a feeling that Brittany Venti it's probably been revealed that she was not actually.
Yeah. Usually, attractive girls, or they might have had one boyfriend.
She was actually fucking the coach. That's probably the secret.
We've talked about that before.
Look at her face and you'll see what I mean. Okay, we'll look it up. Oh man, good show. Good questions. Thank you. Honest to God, we appreciate you guys jumping in these chats.
More than you know.
And keeping things going and asking us questions because we're here to help and we truly do. I mean, we'd rather answer things off the cuff than like write a book about it.
And if you have specific questions, you go to
myplayboysbunny.com/men, and there I have a link a section specific to asking questions for live shows.
Love it.
Yeah.
And Chicks Dig Jerks. The complete guide to asshole game.
They sure do.
By CHATEAU HEARTISTE is out now. So it has immediate download. There should be a link below here. But if asshole is like crack to women.
It is.
If you're not strong at it or you don't understand it or you would like to improve it or just look into it, it's not insulting girls and treating them like shit.
No.
It's just being fun and somewhat challenging. You can pick up a lot of chicks with it.
Yeah.
Buy it now.
Buy now. We want you to win. Bye. I love it.